Hey everybody, it's Ian, the Off-Kilter Crafter. I hope you're having a great day today. Today we're going to be putting together clue number 4 from the Cotton Cuts Puzzle Mystery Quilt Sparkle and Shine. Before we get started though, I'm hungry and I'm going to have a little snack of these chocolate chip cookies with edible glitter. I felt like they fit the theme of this quilt, so why not, right? Shout out to Ginny from Cotton Cuts for letting me know that edible glitter chocolate chips are a thing, and let me tell you, they're delicious. Before we get started today, I wanted to tell you, yes, that really is edible glitter, and yes, this really was my snack, and it is delicious. All right, let's get on to putting the actual quilt together today. Don't forget that you'll need your fabric guide. I'm doing the Moonstone. I have my clue number 4 instructions, and I also have my clue package for clue number 4. Let's go ahead and open up the package and see what we have inside. In this package, we have only triangles, and we have 4 triangles of fabric A. We also have 6 triangles of fabric B. We have 6 triangles of fabric C. We have 4 triangles of fabric E. And we have 8 triangles of smaller fabric A triangles. Okay, now that I have all of mine separated out, I'm going to go ahead and put these on the table behind me, and we're going to start with step number 1. Alright, starting off section 4, you will be making 2 of section 4. The instructions below tell you how to make both sections at the same time. So we're going to be making 2 of these at the same time. For step number 1, we're going to join a large triangle of B and C, and we're going to make 6 of these in total. And we're going to press 4 of these towards C and 2 of them towards B. Okay, that is really important information to know. So in total, we're making 6 of these. We're going to be making 4 of them that are pressed towards our C fabric, and 2 of them are going to be pressed towards our B fabric. So in my case, my B fabric is this orange one, and in my case, the C fabric is my little skunk fabric. All right, let me go ahead and sew these together, and I'll join you back up whenever I am pressing these out. Alright, I've gone ahead and pressed these 2 so that way my fabric B, whoops, let me flip these around so that way they look the right direction. There we go. So I have these 2, they are pressed towards B, and then these are going to be pressed, if I can turn them the right way. I should have just gone this way. Anyways, I'm pressing these towards my C fabric. Yes, I'm pressing these towards my C fabric, so I've got 1 more to go. Remember, when you're doing half square triangles, what I've heard the best way to do is to go push upwards first. Don't iron the whole block, just go upwards first and then over. And supposedly that's supposed to help you get better, like less warped half square triangles. I don't know if it always works, but it seems to do all right, so I just keep doing it. All right, so there we go. There is all of these. So we have a total of 6, 2, and 4. Let's move on to step number 2. All right, next up for step number 2, it says to take 2 of the step 1 units that were pressed towards C, so these have been pressed towards C, join a small A triangle to the bottom left as shown below, and press towards A. We're going to make 2 of these. All right, so I'm going to take my little triangle of A and I'm going to attach it onto this bottom left bottom left side, I don't know, bottom left part of our diamond to attach it onto there. Remember, I'm doing Moonstone, and if you are doing Moonstone, that this fabric has a right side and a wrong side with that tone on tone, so just remember to keep that in mind and pay attention to that. Let's go ahead and sew these together, and I'll come back to press them. All right, I just finished sewing on the little triangle of A. I'm going to go ahead and press towards A, just like that. And now my 2 diamonds are complete and they have the little flap of A on it. So let's move on to step number 3. All right, for step number 3, we're going to do this 2 times. We're going to add a second small triangle of A to the top left of step 2, and we're going to press towards A. And we're going to make 2 of these, and they measure 6.5 from top to bottom. So from top to bottom, it'll be 6.5 inches. And I'll go ahead and rejoin you whenever I get this put on and start to press. All right, there we go. I have gone ahead and attached my small triangle of A onto the top left part of my diamond. And now I'm pressing it towards my A fabric, and it should look like this whenever you're done. Let's go ahead and move on to step number 4. All right, for step number 4, we're going to join a large triangle of A to the top right of step 3, and we're going to press towards A. We're going to make 2 of these, just like we've been doing. So it should look like this whenever we're done. We'll just fold this over and put it right up to its points, and we'll do it just like that. Remember, you're going to sew on this side. All right, let me do that 2 times. Okay, I have sewn on both of these. I'm now pressing my large triangle of A, or pressing towards my large triangle of A, just like that. Had to do a little bit of seam ripping on this one because it didn't quite line up the way I wanted it to, and I sewed it, and so I had to do a little seam ripping on it, but it looks just fine, no big deal. Let's go ahead and move on to step number 5. Okay, for step number 5, it says to take the remaining 2 step number 1 units that were pressed towards our C fabric. So in my case, it's going to be the skunk fabric. We're going to sew a large triangle of E to the bottom left and press towards E. So I'm going to put the E fabric down here, and I'm going to sew this seam right here. So our press should be up towards our C fabric and down towards our E fabric, just like that. I'm going to go ahead and sew 2 of these together, and I'll join you when it's time to press. All right, there we go. I have gone ahead and sewn on our E fabric, and now I am pressing it towards the E fabric, just like that. So now I have 2 blocks or 2 pieces that look like this. I'm trying to fit them all on the screen here, and it's a little hard to do, but there you go. It looks like just like that. Let me go ahead and move on to step number 6. All right, moving on to step number 6, it says join a small A triangle to the top right of step 5 as shown below and press towards A. We're going to make 2 of these. So I'm going to put this one right up here in the top right corner. I'm going to fold that, not fold it, but I'm going to place it over just like that and even it out, and then sew along this seam. I'm going to do that 2 times and press towards A. All right, there we go. I have sewn on the small triangle of A onto my step number 6, or step number 5. Step number 6 would be sewing on the A fabric. So now we have 2 blocks or 2 pieces that look just like that. Let's go ahead and move on to step number 7. All right, moving on to step number 7, it says to add a small A triangle to the bottom right of step 2. So I'm going to go ahead and attach it here on the bottom right corner, and I'm going to do that 2 times. All right, I've gone ahead and placed on my small triangle of A for step number 7. So it looks like this now. I can't really fit 2 of them on the screen, so we'll just work with 1 here. So we have step number 7 here. We're going to go ahead and move on to step number 8. All right, for step number 8, it says to take the 2 step 1 units that were pressed towards B, so in my case, it's pressed towards this orange fabric. We're going to sew a large E triangle to the bottom left as shown, and we're going to press towards E. We're going to make this 2 times. So I'm going to sew it just like this along this seam right here, and I'm doing that 2 times. Okay, I have finished with step number 8. I love that my little lemur ended up right in the center of this cut. I love that so much. All right, now we're going to move on to step number 9. And just as a reminder before I jump into number 9, I did press towards my E fabric, and thankfully it's pictured on the instructions, so that way you know which way to go. All right, for step number 9, we're going to join a large triangle of A to the top right of step 6. That's another boo-boo. All right, we're moving on to step number 9. It says to join a large triangle of A to the top of right, top. All right, moving on to step number 9. It says to join a large A triangle to the top right of step number 8, because we have the E, B, and C fabric, and now we'll be adding A fabric to the top right, and press towards A. We're going to make 2 of these. All right, I've gone ahead and added my fabric of large fabric wow, I can't speak. I've added my large A triangle to the top right of step number 8. So it kind of makes this diagonal shape to it. Now it looks like we're going to be joining everything together. So let me go ahead and put some of these clues onto the screen so that way we can piece them together. All right, my tabletop is not exactly big enough with the mat here to fit everything in, but basically for step number 10, we're going to join steps 4, 9, and 7 as shown and press towards step 9. Make 2 of them, and they should measure 18.5 inches by 6.5 inches when it's all said and done. All right, so I'm going to attach all these together, and it says to press towards step number 9, so we're going to be pressing towards the center basically. So let me go ahead and sew these together, and I'll join you whenever I'm pressing my seams. Okay, I've sewn one of them together. I haven't pressed anything yet, but an area of focus for you should be these points. As you can see, my points may not be 100% point on point, but what is important is I feel like these need to line up as best as possible. So as you're sewing them together, as you can see, I'm a little off here and a little off there, but I like that my points are matching up nicely. So I kind of feel like that's the most important part as you're sewing this together, at least to me. And so I'm going to focus on really making sure that these points line up as best as possible. All right, there we go. We are done. I have pressed it towards our step number 9 in the middle here. This was definitely not easy. This is definitely a little wobbly, and I have some very uneven edges on mine, unfortunately. But overall, I think that's going to be okay. And if I really wanted to, I could rip these seams out and work with them again. My second one came out a lot better than my first one, but I'll probably leave it as is and just make do with it. Thanks for watching today's video. I really hope you enjoyed it. I'm making it my goal in 2021 to hit 100,000 subscribers, but I need your help to make that happen. Take a moment and subscribe to my YouTube channel, and then don't forget to check out the other great videos that I have here on my channel. Also, share this video with your friends and tell them to come check out the Off Kilter Crafter.